Next, let's talk about Levridge Ag Sales, what's new in 2023 R2. One of the first things that we've added to that is an important feature for term split billing. So what term split billing is the ability to take one sales order and when you invoice it, create multiple invoices. So a very useful example might be if you have two items on an invoice. One has regular payment terms, say you're going to pay that end of the month, and another is not due, has deferred payment terms, and maybe it's due January 1st. With this feature now, when you invoice that order, it will actually create two invoices, one that's due with regular end of the month terms or whatever your terms are, and the other that's due with the deferred terms January 1st, for example. So we've even taken it further, and not only do we support that on a regular order, but if you're splitting that order, it will also split that order. And not only can you split it on payment terms, you can split it on payment method. So if you're expecting perhaps that they use John Deere Financial or John Deere Credit, they have an account with you, and you have some items that are eligible for John Deere Credit and others that are not, that are on the same sales order, this split feature, based on that method of payment, we'll split that invoice into two, so one for the John Deere Financial and one for the regular payment. So let's just take a look at how in the world do we do that. So I'm going to go into Ag Sales here and bring up an example. So we're going to bring up this sales order here, and you're going to see there are two items on this order. One has regular payment terms and the other has deferred. So you can see the header information here, but you can see the two rows. And let me just scroll down a little bit so you can see it. We have Liberty 2x2.5, and we can look under the Agriculture tab, and we can see that the terms code on this one is due December 1st. So this has deferred payment. It's not due right away. It's not due till December 1st. And you can see if I click on the roundup row, we can see the roundup is due net 30 like everything else. So when I go ahead and invoice this order, you're going to see here how it creates two invoices. It automatically splits this order into two and creates two invoices. So I'm going to print the invoice based right here. And in just one moment here, we will see the two invoices on the screen. This is the first invoice. You can see it's for the Liberty, and that is due December 1st, and that invoice. And then the next one that is generated is for the Roundup, which is due net 30 days in my example. So I wanted to touch base one thing. How did we get that to default without any trouble? And so what we can do, these payment terms can default now from the item. So we have added to item setup. So we're going to navigate to the product information management piece, and we're going to go to release products, and we're going to look at that Liberty, and we're going to see how we had those payment terms default when I entered that into the system, that sales order into the system. So we're going to click on Liberty, the 2x2.5, and you can see here where we added to the product setup under the Sale Fast tab, we have added a set of 3 new fields to that, and these default on the sales order. If they're not there on a particular item, it'll default from the customer. But again, we've added these 3 fields: the payment terms, the method of payment, and the cash discount. And those are the 3 fields that the system looks at to determine whether we need to create multiple invoices when we invoice that sales order.